Hi everyone, I'm Stephen 老师 and welcome to Enjoy English School.
大家好，我是 Bernice 老师。
All right, so today is the day of July 1st, the first day of July, and we're going to be covering the subject of entertainment with the title Tom Cruise, Action Hero Maverick.
我们今天要来看一下这个影视娱乐片。那今天我们要讨论又是一枚帅哥，汤姆克鲁斯先生。他永远呢都是我们这个action movie 里面动作片里面的 hero。然后今天呢要看来他其中有一个拍的其中的一部片，就叫 Maverick。
All right, so please refer to page 8 for today, and the subtitle for this is Tom Cruise Takes to the Skies Again in Top Gun Maverick.
他这一次主演的这一部电影呢，就是《捍卫战士2》，叫做《独行侠》，他又再一次的遨游天际。
All right, let's learn more about this movie.
好的。
Tom Cruise is definitely one of the most distinguished actors in Hollywood.Thanks to his numerous appearances in so many successful films.
很长的一个句子，所以同学刚才在听 Stephen 老师念的时候，他会有一些某一个地方会 pause 一下，就是告诉你呢，在这个地方它形成了一个完整的意义，然后你在看句子的时候要怎么样去把它拆解开来。所以一开始的主角呢，当然就是我们这位帅哥 Tom Cruise 这个人呢，他绝对 definitely 绝对是一个怎么样呢 one of 其中之一。记得你看到其中之一的时候，后面的那个名词一定要用复数的名词，所以你看那个 actors 加了 s， 它是最怎么样呢？什么叫 distinguished？ 就是非常杰出 outstanding 的这样的一个 actors 在 Hollywood 里面。Thanks to 就是 because of， 由于呢他主演了非常多部的numerous 就是很多的这些 appearances， 就是他出现在很多部成功的这些电影里面，所以我们说呢他是一个非常杰出的演员之一。
So in long sentences like this, to help your listeners be able to distinguish between the different sentences and the different words within one sentence is to make some words longer or to make some words, more dramatic. Like what I did was with the word definitely, I made it more kind of a higher sound. Like Tom Cruise is definitely one of the most, and I also elongated it to make it more noticeable. So doing that can help people know what you're trying to convey. Okay, will help people know your meaning a lot quicker. Okay, so Tom Cruise is definitely one of the most distinguished actors. So 刚刚 Bernice 老师有说 distinguished 也可以是 outstanding, right? It can also be recognizable, 就是很容易可以被大家认识的。
认出来的。
So recognizable 是 R-E-C-O-G-N-I-Z-A-B-L-E, recognizable actors. And then Bernice 老师说 because of his numerous appearances, thanks to 就是另外一个方式 but usually thanks to is because of in a positive way. Okay, so we only use that when it's a positive reason for explaining it.
所以有时候我们中文就把它翻成哎呀多亏有这样的一个状况出现了。
Yes. He is noted for the Mission Impossible films, Interview with a Vampire, Jerry Maguire, and, of course, the iconic Top Gun.
以下呢就是我们大家熟知 Tom Cruise 的一些名作一些他很有名的这些作品。Be noted for 就是 be known for K-N-O-W-N 就是以什么出名。他的这些出名的作品呢，包含大家最熟知的这个不可能的任务系列，还有呢这个所谓的夜访吸血鬼，还有征服情海，以及当然啦他的最怎么样 iconic 就是非常象征性经典性的一个作品，就是我们讲的好大一支枪没有，那个是别人的翻译真正我们的翻译是翻成捍卫战士。
Okay, and then so just be sure whenever you're writing down titles for movies, if you're typing it out, the words for these movies are italicized. But because when you're writing it out, we can't really italicize words because a lot of people's handwritings are very different. If you're writing it out, then you would underline the title of a movie, okay? So that's just something with grammar. And here at the very end, it says, and of course, the iconic Top Gun. Why do they want to emphasize and of course? Because the title of this excerpt that we're doing today is Top Gun. right? Maverick. So we already know we're going to be talking about Top Gun. That's why they say, and of course, the iconic Top Gun. Another reason why they're saying, and of course, is because Top Gun really is very, very, very famous in America. It's a movie that everybody associates with Tom Cruise, which is another reason why they use the adjective here, iconic Top Gun. What is an icon? It's something that is very famous and represents a time period or represents something. So this movie Top Gun is very iconic because it really represents Tom Cruise and it really represents that time period when it was made.
没错，这边的 iconic 是它的形容词，那把那个 ic 去掉就是变成它的名词，就是说这个是一个很象征代表性的它的一个作品，所以你会看到那个 and of course 会放在这个前面。好，就讲到这一部这个捍卫战士是Tom Cruise 一个非常非常象征性的作品。
The Last, released in 1986, was the action blockbuster that brought Cruise to international fame.Paving his way to superstardom.
接下来呢 The Last 就是接下来他又出了下一部最后一部作品，好，叫做这个 Released。前面这个 Release 为什么加了的呢？是因为它原本前面应该是 Which was 它在1986年呢这个播出来上映的这一部，好，这个Top Gun 这部电影。那当时呢，所以你看它一样还是要保持过去式的使用 was the action。它在电影动作片上面呢是这个 blockbuster， 就是相当卖座的一部电影，而且呢这样子的一个状态 that 这边的冠带来形容前面这样的一个卖座的电影，是把这个 Tom Cruise 呢带上了这个所谓国际的这样的一个fame， 就是他的名声之中，而且替他呢在走向这个超级巨星的这个路呢也帮他 pave， 帮他铺好了这条路。
Right. And then here at the very beginning, the last is talking about the last movie that they mentioned in the previous sentence. 就是他们现在在继续要讲 Top Gun 的一些的资讯。So the last of the previous sentence, released in 1986 was the action blockbuster. 那刚刚 Bernice 老师有说 blockbuster 就是一个卖得非常好，在票房可能成绩非常好的一部电影。Okay? So Top Gun was a blockbuster in 1986. And what is superstardom? Superstardom is the state of being extremely famous. Okay? 变成 superstar 就是 superstardom 这个 state 这个 condition. Okay?
这样的一个状况跟条件里面。
Cruise, born in New York in 1962, spent much of his youth moving from place to place.
现在就来讲一下这位帅哥他的 background 了。他呢是出生在纽约的，1962年出生的。然后接着呢，他呢在年轻的时候呢，他花了很多的时间在搬过来搬过去的。所以你可以看到它英文的用法呢是 move from place to place， 就是从一个点又搬到另外一个点。
So in English, when we're talking about a person and we've been saying his name over and over, sometimes we'll just use his last name to start talking about him so that we don't have to say Tom Cruise, Tom Cruise, Tom Cruise. So a lot of times we just use their last name if we're going to continue talking about the same person. Okay? So Cruise, born in New York in 1962. There are two N's in this small little clause. Okay? So N, don't be afraid to use it too many times. Okay? And one N is talking about the location where he was born, and one of the N's is talking about the year he was born. And then don't forget the past tense of spend, S-P-E-N-D. It's not adding E-D like a lot of verbs. The D turns to T, okay? Spent much of his youth. Now, youth is the time period of when he was young, okay? So that's like a whole time period when he was a kid.
没错，还有同学要这边特别注意这个 spend 的用法。spend 这个字呢，告诉你是指不管是花钱、花时间都可以用这个字。它的主词一定要是人，好，那后面它的动词搭配的动词一定要记得用 ing。
He lived in Ohio, New Jersey,and even Canada for a time.
好，因为他一直的搬家搬来搬去，对不对？所以他曾经住过哪些地方？曾经住过，所以你看这个 live 也是加了 d 变成过去式。他曾经以前住在这个 Ohio 这个地方啦，甚至还有 New Jersey 啦，好，甚至到加拿大都有住过。For a time， 同学这个 time 加了我们就不翻成时间，而翻成一段期间，就是他在以上这三个地方都曾经住过一段期间。
Right, and here they're adding even Canada because Canada is a different country from the U.S. That's why even Canada 连加拿大有住这一段时间。
没错。
So for a time, it's an unspecified amount of time. 就是没有指定有多少的时间了。At 18 years of age, in 1980, Cruz moved to New York City to become an actor.
在他18岁的时候，同学注意这个 age， 它搭配的介系词我们是用 at。在他18岁的时候，那时候刚好就是1980年了。那我们这位帅哥呢，他又搬家了，就搬到了这个现在他居住的地方出生的地方，就是这个纽约。然后当时呢，他就成为了一个 actor， 就去当演员了。
But it wasn't long before he began flying to Los Angeles for auditions.
但是呢，他接着不久之后 ，it wasn't long before， 就是不久之后。可是不久之后呢，他搬到了纽约之后，马上又飞到了这个 LA， 就是这个洛杉矶那边呢。那主要他的目的就是 audition 就去做这个试镜，去试演这样子。
So whenever you're going to try to get a job in acting for a specific role, ROLE 角色 you have to go audition. Okay, 这个可以是动词，也可以是名词。那 Los Angeles, you can also say like Bernice 老师说的 LA. Now Los Angeles is a Spanish word which means the angels.
Wow,
okay,
天使。
He made his Hollywood debut in 1981.
所以你看，帅哥果然是很努力的，对不对？1980年试镜完之后，马上接着1981年隔年呢，他就在好莱坞呢可以出道了。什么叫 debut 呢？这个字特别，等一下请那个 Stephen 老师再念一下他的发音，很特殊的一个字，就是你初次登台的意思，就是你刚刚出道的意思。
Right, and then the verb we usually have with debut is make a debut. Okay, so he made his Hollywood debut in 1981. So debut, it looks like it has an E, but it's pronounced like an A, day, and then the T at the end of that word is not pronounced, debut.
所以这个 T 是没有发音的哦。
All right, let's take a short break.
好的。
Since then, Cruz has starred in over 40 films and helped produce over 15.
所以我们这位帅哥呢，他不但是会演戏，同学你看非常的有才华，他还帮忙做制作，制片。所以从那个时候开始，就是从他呢一开始在好莱坞呢这个出道之后呢，他曾经主演过，所以从那个时候到现在，因此我们可以看到他用的是现在完成式，已经超过了40多部的片子，而且同时呢，他也帮忙来制作超过了15部的电影。
Right, so since then is talking about ever since 1981 with his debut, right? So Cruz has starred in. So star in a movie is the same as saying be in a movie, okay? So he has been in over 40 films or 40 movies and helped produce over 15. So the produce here does not mean to make, okay? 不是制造出来，而是制片, okay? Impressively, Cruz prefers to do all of his own stunts.
而且这位帅哥让人家印象非常深刻的呢，就是他呀常常喜欢怎么样做他自己的这一些所谓的 stunt， 就是一些特殊的一些很惊险的一些动作，他都自个儿来，他不要一些替身，我自己上了prefer to 就是比较喜欢这样子做。
Right, so people who do stunts are the stuntmen, okay? 替身们, S-T-U-N-T-M-A-N, stuntmen, okay? And impressively is a good way to start the sentence to get the reader or the listener to be able to know that this author he really thinks Cruz is a great actor who's very professional. So this impressively, it means in a way that brings admiration, 让我们觉得哇很惊艳 about Cruz, okay? He will do everything he can to portray his characters as realistically as possible.
这边呢就是说这位帅哥呢，他同时啊也会什么事儿他都愿意做，只要他能够 portray 这个字呢，就是指把你自己呢刻画或者是塑造成什么样的一个状态，把自己的 characters 就是他的自己的角色能够塑造，所以我们这边翻成说，他会尽全力的去诠释他自己的角色，而且怎么样的诠释呢？下面这个很长的字，它的意思是一个副词，就是非常逼真的、栩栩如生的去这样子做诠释，而且是 as possible， 叫尽可能的。
And portray, another word that we could use here is depict, D-E-P-I-C-T, 也就是描述的方式，描写的方式。And portray, another word that we've seen that kind of looks like this word is portrait, P-O-R-T-R-A-I-T. 那 portrait 就是一个人的那个
画像对，把你就看着你这样把你画出来就对了。
因为那就是个艺术家，他怎么去描述你这个人，所以就是 portray 就是一个动词，就跟他很相似。It's a good way to remember these different words and their meanings. Okay? He even learned to fly a real fighter jet for the Top Gun film.
对，所以你看他为了要拍这个捍卫战士的这个电影呢，甚至呢他还去学习如何驾驶，好，这边的 fly 当然它有飞的意思，那这边就是说去开飞机的这个动作，去驾驶一台而且是真的好，真正的这种战斗型的喷射机，好，就为了拍这个捍卫战士这部电影。
Right, so to fly a plane, it means to drive the plane, right? But we use the verb fly to say to control a plane. So he's flying a real fighter jet. So these jets are used in the army to fight, okay, to shoot other planes down. That's what a fighter jet is. And a jet is a kind of plane that is super, super fast, extremely fast.
很快的喷射机，所以我们用 jet.
Right. So wow, he really is very professional if he even went to learn how to do this action in order to portray his character better. It's a very 很棒很值得敬佩的精神。Cruise has developed a reputation as one of the hardest working men in Hollywood.
同学就是因为他这样子拼命三郎的个性，所以呢 Tom Cruise 呢他也怎么样呢？这个发展出来这样的一个 reputation，就是人家对他一个很好的一个名声，这个名声呢就是好莱坞最卖命的演员其中之一。
Right, so if you have a good reputation, it means everyone's saying good things about you. But if you have a bad reputation, it means that maybe you have a lot of scandals or
丑闻了。
Yeah, scandal, S-C-A-N-D-A-L, or you just have a lot of bad gossip about you. But Cruise has a great reputation in Hollywood, and also, sometimes instead of just developing a reputation, we can say that you gain a reputation. G-A-I-N, 得到一个名声。
对，没错。所以 reputation 这个字呢，可以是用在好的方面，或用在不好的方面，都可以用这个字。
Right. Hopefully, we have good reputations, right?
当然是，我一定是的。
Okay, let's go into the review.
Okay.
So when I say that Tom Cruise is a distinguished actor, what does that mean?
表示他非常的突出。
And he's been in many movies or numerous movies.
很多的。
And he's noted for movies like Mission Impossible. So what does it mean by noted for something?
以什么出名的？
And including the iconic Top Gun.
具有代表象征性的。
And Top Gun was a blockbuster in 1986.
当时呢是一个卖座的电影。
What does it mean by paving one's way to stardom?
对，就是你要做什么事情呢？为你铺好了这个道路。
Right, so pave 就是铺的意思，
没错。
right? So superstardom 呢？
就是成为这个超级巨星啦。
Right, so when he was young, for a time, he lived in Canada. So when I mean for a time, what does that mean?
就是有一段时间。
And whenever you want to be in a movie, you might have to go to an audition.
没错，你想要演电影，同学要先去做试镜试演。
Right, so when it's a regular job, it's an interview. Okay, so that's the difference between 试镜 and interview.
对，不一样的。
And then he made his Hollywood debut in 1981. So what does it mean by making one's debut?
就是初次去演出或初次登台。
Don't forget, debut, the T is not pronounced. So Cruise, he has starred in 40 films. What does that mean?
这边的 star 是当动词，就是主演。
And impressively, Cruise, he wants to do his own stunts. So what does impressively mean?
让人觉得印象深刻的。
And what is a stunt?
Stunt 就是做一些特技表演。
Right, and a stuntman, S-T-U-N-T-M-A-N.
就是我们替身。
Exactly. So Tom Cruise, he really tries to portray his characters realistically.
没错，就是把他的这一个角色呢刻画的淋漓尽致。
Very nice. All right, thank you guys so much for joining us today. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.